Welcome back to Cinema Corner. Today's video, Alex, take it away, actually.
I am not prepared for this. I am getting thrown into the fire right now. Well, today, I suppose, we are going over the new casting for the Superman movie that James Gunn is writing and directing. It was just announced that I think his name is David Corenswet, something like that. Basically, he looks like a younger Henry Cavill. So, you know, got what they wanted. They wanted Henry Cavill, but they said he was too old, so they basically got a younger version of him.
I don't give a. I don't really fucking care. I'll be honest. I just got announced. I was like, oh, cool. Guess that's it. It's like I had to go on that route of two people I have no idea who they are. See how it goes. But I hope they keep that trend then, because I don't want some fucking annoying ass known actor for Lex Luthor when he eventually gets brought in. Just make it a nobody as well. So I don't know. It was just random. Just randomly gets dropped on the timeline. It's like, yeah, I guess that happened. And then I went on about my day.
That's valid. I was pretty excited about them at least getting announced, just because we're getting closer to everything happening with Gunn finally taking over, so we can be done acting like anybody cares about the Flash or Blue Beetle or Aquaman 2. Like, we're ready to move on to stuff that's going to build and let James Gunn take over, who is very competent and knows what he's doing. So I mean, the castings, like you said, in terms of who was casted, I was like, whatever. It was just, for me, it was more of just like, okay, we have castings. Let's just keep moving forward. I love the fact that it's two lesser known people. I mean, Rachel is the star of an Amazon Prime video that's Amazon Video, not Amazon Prime. Amazon Video series that's been going on for a while. So she's, not completely a nobody. She has been doing that for a while. But I like the idea of going with a little bit lesser known people. It's kind of what Marvel started with, obviously, for the most part. Robert Downey Jr. was a little bit known, but he, was coming back from plenty of issues on his own right. And then there's a famous article that gets brought up every now and then again when Thor was announced, how it was Chris Hemsworth and Tom Hiddleston playing Thor and Loki. And it was like, what is Marvel doing? Who are these people? Like, they're nobodies, blah, blah. I think it even talked about how they're foreign. They're like, it's kind of weird why they're doing foreign people. I was like,
yeah.
What the fuck does that have to do with anything? Ever heard of an accent, bro? Like, what? But that's like kind of a famous video that gets, or article that gets brought up. So I like DC doing that. Like you said, eventually I'm sure they're going to start just plugging in bigger name people to try to fill seats. But personally, I wanted Emma Mackey to be Lois Lane. She was really, of the final six, kind of, they talked about there's 3 Superman and 3 Loises that were in the running. She was the main one that I cared about getting casted. I really wanted to see her as Lois Lane. Other than that, I mean, like you said, they got a younger Henry Cavill, a little bit interesting. I think they maybe should have tried to go a little bit away from his look. Obviously, it's kind of hard to go too far away if you want him to look like how the comic books look. There's only so many people that have that little, jawline, that kind of face. So, you kind of have a little bit of a pigeonhole unless you want to stray too far away. But yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see where we go from here. But yeah, I'm a fan of the lesser known casting.
Yeah, and then also the one man from X-Men and the Menu. What's his last name? Is it Klaus? I think I don't remember him. I think he was also one of the people. Cold. Why did I say Klaus? I don't know. Either way, dude. Hey, man. He's having a tough run. It's just of known, just failed auditions, because he also went for the Batman and Superman, and then also lost a role for Top Gun Maverick. He's just on a hot streak. I mean, but at least the Menu, I guess. But if you didn't get the Menu,
Renfield,
been crazy. So
Yeah, it sucks for him. Maybe Lex Luthor. But then again, I think the Skarsgård brothers are the ones that are the finalists for Lex Luthor. So if I had to choose, I'd probably want Alexander Skarsgård to be Lex Luthor. Yeah,
I go the opposite. I want Bill.
You want Bill to be like Lex Luthor?
Yeah, I just think we've already seen him play a villain role several different times. Obviously, he was Pennywise the Clown in It Chapter 2. He was in that Barbarian movie. He was in John Wick 4. We've kind of just already seen him played that like villainous role, and so I kind of prefer him. Plus, he's the younger brother, so I kind of like that he's a little bit younger. Not that I think in this situation it matters too much. There's not too big of a difference between them and anything, but yeah, personally, I lean towards Bill.
It's fair. It's valid.
Why do you lean towards Alex? Why do you lean towards him?
I don't know. I just feel like he'd fit the role a little better. He looks bigger. I feel like Lex has to compensate since he's not a Kryptonian. You know, he goes up against he goes up against Superman. I feel like he has to have some sort of like presence to him, even though he's not even on the same level as Superman. But like appearance wise, he has to look like he can hold his own. So that's the only reason, really. Both are great actors, but I mean, I honestly wouldn't mind either or. It was just down to preference of who I think could pull it off.
Now you're valid, actually. That does make a lot of sense because yeah, I kind of do want them to go a little bit get away from the classic Jesse Eisenberg, whatever the fuck his name is. You know, we don't need that scrawny little bald fuck kind of build again. So Nicholas Hoult, I wouldn't mind him, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, they probably were going to do the classic superhero move of just pump him full of steroids anyway, so it doesn't matter who's casted, because I was like, Nicholas Hoult is pretty scrawny, and the guy who's casted doesn't look, I mean, he's tall, like you mentioned, he's 6'4", but he doesn't look like built, but obviously,
Henry Cavill
they're
wasn't
going to put him
either.
I mean, he was already defined, at least.
Maybe. I mean, I just like I saw a photo online of like people like saying like, oh, he's not even jacked or anything, and then they just show a picture of Henry Cavill in his like test suit when he first got casted as Superman. He definitely wasn't what he was when Man of Steel happened, and definitely not when BVS was filmed either. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, now that he's got cast, obviously, they're going to have him eat a bunch of chicken. He's going to eat like 6,000 calories a day. He's going to eat, 5 times a day. He's going to work out twice a day. And, of course, pump him full of steroids, but they won't ever mention that part. But, in the interviews, he'll say that's what he did. But we'll leave out the needle injection to help out big time. Classic Marvel. Well, I guess as a Marvel. Classic superhero physique, you know what I mean? I just worked out really hard. Sure you did, bud. You did work out. You also had a big help. But yeah, I know, with Superman Legacy now being casted, there's more roles to be filled, as we talked about Lex Luthor. And Josh, I know you love talking about filling things, so why don't you talk about some roles, ideas you have?
Yeah. Lex, for me, you already mentioned your guys's. I don't know. As long for me, it's just more just not somebody that's super known. But also with Lex, really, because there's two versions of him. There is one where he kind of is a bit of a bigger guy, where he almost kind of has like that Kingpin energy, but not like a super massive dude, but still like a kind of muscular guy. So for me, if they don't go with the brothers there, at least someone that is just not super known. No big star for Lex Luthor. Let's get away from that. It just never works out for filling these DC roles for like these well-known characters for major stars. Just doesn't work. AKA Batfleck. Batfleck fucking sucks. All right, and everyone that loves Batfleck, go fucking kill yourself. Like, goddamn. I don't get why there's so many TikTokers simp for Batfleck. It's insane. He's the best Batman of all time. It's cringy as shit, bro. He's so fucking cringy. God. And then the little like fucking like sad edits they made from the Flash of him. Anyways, I'm gonna go with for this movie. I'm thinking I don't really want any major bad. No Zod, no nothing like that. Teased Lex in there. Obviously, give him to us. We gotta have him. but let's have him maybe be more background, intertwining a little bit, you know? I just have the classic, just he's coming up, U.S. government type shit, being like, oh my god, this fucker's an alien. We can do that. Maybe I'm down for that. But more of a laid back role of no big bad. Just once again, we need to bring the focus back to what kind of Superman are we getting? What kind of heroes are we getting? What stories are these characters going to eventually tell? That's what we need. That's what we want James Gunn to do. Let's focus on them, and then focus on the villains, you know? Which we know he can do that because, let's be honest, none of the villains in the Guardians of the Galaxy were ever like crazy, killer, awesome that we needed more from them or more films of them. So I would like him to just keep that trend up, you know? That's what I want from him, and that's why I'm hoping they hired him for that. Otherwise, hey man, let's get Brainiac as a big bad eventually. I want Brainiac. That would just be awesome to be done on the big screen. Especially if you get the visuals right for it and you at least have some decent build-up. That could be a fire-ass series of movies there. Just would be cool, as well as I think, you know, obviously Gunn would have a slate of characters and actors that he can bring back. I thought about who I would even cast for that. It's hard to cast, I think, for anyone for me for these movies. I know we did a video a while ago about like our next Justice League, but for like this Superman film, I was looking for a while, like, especially for Lex Luthor, and I just genuinely, I don't know why, I just don't really care for anybody that I like know. I just really just don't want any big stars. I just can't give a fuck. I think Batfleck and all those other stars have turned me off so much with anyone being well known to enter the DC universe that I can't give a shit. Especially because, you know, if it doesn't hit right away, they're going to be like, oh, these big actors are going to be like, they're thinking probably they're going to get some Marvel type money, and they just didn't get the role in Marvel, and they're going to try to come to DC. And if the movie flops in any way in their mind, then they're just going to jump ship. You know they will. So fuck the big stars. Fuck them. But Brainiac, I don't know. You can tease it for the actor that played the High Evolutionary, even though the role is a little similar, kinda-ish, of the characters. But you know you'd kill it, and it'd be cool to actually give him a proper, very big bad. That would be dope. Otherwise, I think at least one actor that I think should be in the Superman film would be a sidekick of Lex Luthor, or even a possible daughter of Lex Luthor, and that would be bringing the actress that plays Mantis. I think she'd be great for fitting that. Just her actual normal look, her normal hair and everything, she would kind of fit that sleek, kind of like side assistant to Lex Luthor, where it looks like she could totally just beat the fuck out of you if she wanted to, but also looks like she's quite smart and skilled. I think she would fit that. Because obviously some characters from Guardians of the Galaxy, some of the actors, they're coming to some of these films. But so I was kind of thinking Mantis would be one. I wouldn't mention their name. I know I'd butcher the name. I just cannot pronounce it. So I was thinking that, and also the actor that played High Evolutionary, just because he fucking killed it. So why not give him some sort of role? That's what I was kind of thinking.
I like that. I mean, we also talked about Jimmy Olsen might be in that one.
Yeah.
Which you had a good casting for Jimmy Olsen as well, if you want to share that one.
I did?
Yeah. We just talked about this.
You know, I guess I don't really want to mention it because it's such a smart idea. I think that the new DC universe needs to really show off that they are paying their CGI artists, that they are going full in. These movies are going to look good. And nothing gets headlines like de-aging old stars. So I know I said I don't want any stars to distract from the film. However, there's always exceptions. Bring in Danny DeVito and just de-age that motherfucker with some fantastic AI CGI. You can even they used AI to mask the face, all that, right? Do that. You're gonna tell me that doesn't just spread on TikTok like a wildfire, bro? Come on, it's going everywhere. Everyone's gonna see it just for Danny DeVito.
Some other things people have been asking about Batman, how close they are, and James Gunn actually responded, as he does, because he's, elite, respects his
Very
fan
active.
base. Somebody said, how close are you casting Batman? And he said miles and miles away. However, what we do know about the Batman project is he is planning on going off of the Brave and the Bold storyline from the comics, which at that point, Bruce already has Damian, his son, who is, I mean, depending on where you want to talk about, you're talking about somewhere between like 10 to 15-ish, I would say, probably is like the most accurate age. So obviously that puts Batman, Bruce Wayne needs to be a little bit older in order to have that kind of kid, which the actor for Clark Kent Superman, he's about to turn 30 pretty soon, so you figure Batman needs to be at least in his upper 50s, or 40s, I would say, probably, in order to have like a 15-year-old. Which I don't love that they're doing that. We're doing another older Batman, because like you said with Batfleck, I didn't care for him at all. I don't want to do another older Batman, but if they are going to keep the Batman trilogy with Matt Reeves with Robert Pattinson's, I would be okay just to make sure there's like a defined line, that there's two different Batmans going on.
Yeah.
Younger, I mean, Pattinson is probably around 30, I would guess. A little older, maybe. So I kind of would like a little bit of a defined, like, hey, it's very clear. Younger Batman, Pattinson, a little bit older, whoever. And so, I don't know, do you guys have any kind of ideas about that?
I do,
Or anything I missed with Superman?
Yeah, I still am high on my Batman that I mentioned in our older video, and that's Richard Madden. I think he still can fit that older, if they wanted that older thing, because he does look young. He's 37. But he looks young just because he's fit and healthy. But the nice thing about that is, okay, cool, you can make him look a little older, and then as the films go on, he's not going to look fucking awful if you're hiring an older actor that's like in the 40s or late 40s. You know what I mean? Now, the only bad thing is because fucking Superman is massive. Richard Madden's like 5'11", so not too bad. But fucking Superman's 6'4". That's tough. That's a big height. I was hoping they're lying about that listing. But they can make him taller. Like they did with fucking Tony Stark, anyways. Robert Downey Jr. So they made him taller in every scene with Pepper Potts. But I don't know. I'm still down for him just because I think he's got that Chad jawline. He looks good, looks sharp. Also, Eternals is just never happening again. So say fuck Marvel and just become Batman. And I think he could play. I think he can do a mix of Robert Pattinson and then what fans wanted or think they got from Batfleck. I think he can play that hybrid and he will be a Justice League Batman. Because that's what I want, and I hope that's what their plan is we need a Justice League Batman with peace and love. You got to make him work. It's going to be tough to do that. I think he could pull that off. So I'm still sticking with him.
Yeah, I was going to say he's like probably my number one or two choice. It's Richard Madden or his Game of Thrones brother, Kit Harington. Though I'm still sticking to it. Those are my two choices.
Is Kit smaller though, isn't he? Because I think
He's got to be.
Yeah, I think he's 5'9" or something like that. So that's just tough.
Which I mean is if you're gonna have
they are in the same age though. So
Superman
he's 5'8", says.
Yeah.
Superman is an alien. He's supposed to be taller. Like the only reason they like made it so that like they casted Batfleck because one, he's older, and two, he fit the role for what they wanted, and he was bigger than or taller than Henry Cavill. But that was just their like stylistic choice. Majority of the time, Superman is either the same height or taller than Batman. Yeah. But again, you can make them look the same kid. Height.
Yeah.
Or I mean,
dude's fucking giant, 6'4" though.
Yeah, that's a massive.
I mean, yeah, but who knows what 6'4" that is? You know what I mean? Is that a real?
That's what I'm saying. I gotta hope he's lying about that.
Let me boost the resume. 6'2".
Well, why are you boosting the resume that much? You know what I mean? Like, motherfucker, you're attractive enough to play Superman. Like, stop lying.
I don't know.
What are you doing?
But yeah, I haven't seen any of his work, so I don't know for sure. You know what I mean? we've seen some stuff he's been in. Maybe they'll kind of help us know about his height, how much he's lying or what. But I mean, as Alex said, I wouldn't mind too much if Batman is a little bit smaller. Like Alex said, I mean, Superman's supposed to be, Kryptonian, massive, just god figure, basically. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be too mad if Batman's like 5'10". You put the little boots on him that he's going to wear anywhere. He's going to bump him
Also
up. He's going to be
6.
around 6 foot. Right. If he's around 6 foot, I don't care. Or if they want to go short, I'm good with that too. If we want to do like a 5'7" king, like that's cool with me. You know what I mean? So,
Robin's gonna be like,
Harington,
Robin's gonna be 5'2", man.
I'd be fine with Taron Egerton. Throw him in there. Who cares? He's fire. He's too young. But,
Nah, he's the Flash, bro. Come on.
That's true. Actually, I wouldn't mind him as Batman. I mean, he's a little young. How old is he? 33. Okay. Maybe a little too young. Whatever. But another name that's been floating around for Batman has been Jensen Ackles. Obviously, from 17,000 Years of Supernatural. He was in that show. And most recently that, we care about here, The Boys played a Soldier Boy. I believe he's 45, so he would definitely fit the age part. And he's talked about openly how he would love to have the role. I think he's even voiced Batman in animated stuff before, I believe.
Yeah, one of them.
So he's been very open about if they came to him, he would take the role, which I would not mind that at all. He definitely has that look. So I would not be too upset with Jensen Ackles at all. Or, I mean, even like what they did, I would be perfectly fine if Batman is another nobody. I'd be perfectly fine if they do that again. Go ahead, find another key piece of your franchise somewhere else that you trust James Gunn. So, or maybe they go with Chris Pratt. James Gunn, just bring him back in for something. You know what I mean? Go ahead. But yeah, I have no idea. Obviously, it's hard to think of no-name actors for that kind of thing. I don't know. Do you guys have any other thoughts, opinions, castings, or anything like that?
No, man.
Really.
Just hoping James Gunn, does the right thing, and he just cooks up something special there at DC. Hopefully, and we finally get a good DC universe after a long time of mediocrity. Should I say mediocrity?
Mediocrity is very, very nice of you to say. It's been terrible. Any of you little Snyderverse fanboys, just
Blake's about to
that's
join you.
enough of you.
Blake's about to join.
Never will.
Yeah.
Snyderverse was trash. It always was trash. Shut up. You guys are just.
I hate the Batfleck people more than the Snyder people, bro. I mean, even though those are probably
I feel like it's all
the
the
same,
same.
but now there's some, dude. I just don't get it. I just don't understand. What's your love with the Batfleck?
Love with
The
the
warehouse
Snyderverse.
scene. The
What if that
warehouse
was
scene
good?
is.
They don't even show that fucking scene, bro. I swear to God, it's all the scenes after Batman v Superman I see of Batfleck. And I was like, so you're not even showing the decent parts of this motherfucker. You're showing just the absolute worst.
Yeah, he's bad.
Yeah.
It was bad. But I think that's probably gonna do it for the video. Like we said, just quick our thoughts on James Gunn. We're excited to move forward towards his version of the DCEU. Got some casting, so it's exciting. It's supposed to hit theaters, I believe, almost 2 years. I believe it's July. of
Probably
2025.
5 years from now.
Yeah, I mean, hey, he's already written the script, so we're fine. But it's supposed to happen
They only
in
need
2
one
years,
writer.
July of 25, I believe. Who knows if that'll actually happen on time, but we'll see. As always, like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment your thoughts down below what you think, and we'll see you guys in the next one.